Okay, hello. This is Elizabeth Sherrill's Lab 2 recording. So just starting with the first question, where did this data come from? This came from the NHGIS and the US Census, and the NHGIS is a data system that brings together all of the census data available from all the way back into the 1700s to current times. And yeah, and then what analysis did you have to do to create the variables shown on your map? Specifically, how and why did you rate maps and rates rather than raw counts? So we looked at the work fields that employ women most highly and the fields that employ men most highly and nationally. And then in order to do this in QGIS, we divided the number of men employed in manufacturing by the total population of men, and then multiplied it by 100 to turn it into a percentage. And then we did the same thing by women, dividing the total number of women working in educational services, healthcare, and social assistance by the total number of women, and then multiplied by 100. It is easier to use percentages rather than raw counts because it's easier to compare the data this way. It allows us to see the percentage of women or men employed in these jobs in comparison to the total population of women nationally rather than just having raw counts, which requires more manual work, having to look up each number and compare it to others / the national population. So the percentage allows you to do this without doing extra work. So it just maps it nationally, and it's just so much easier to compare the data. What are some patterns you see in each map? So for the male map, I could see a pretty clear pattern that there are more men working in manufacturing in this central eastern part of the United States. Not central, but like eastern / northeastern part. Particularly in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, but mostly all along here. And then there's a clear pattern of barely any men working in manufacturing in these areas, so just like the Midwest / Northwest, and like Arizona and New Mexico. And then for the female map, you can see there's less of a clear pattern because it's not just one area, but there is here in the Midwest, it looks like there is a pretty high concentration of women working in these fields, and also up here in New England pretty clearly there also appears to be fewer women working in the Nevada area / Idaho, and in Florida too. So for the classification scheme and the color scheme, I chose to use a quantile classification scheme, and this allowed the data to be more easily recognizable and allows each group to have equal representation. This is important with this map or these maps because we want to be able to see each of the groups well in order to be able to compare the areas of the US that hire more people in these specific fields. And then for each, I obviously used a chloropleth map, meaning that how dark or how light the color is shows the concentration of people working in that field. And so we used specific sequential or specifically a value color scheme, and this uses different shades of one color to show the concentration of people in that area working in that field. So I used green for this one, and I used blue for this one. And there you go.